moet sê ons Zoom mense is maar baie minder as wat dit was
Okay. Maar ek dink meeste mense join maar
op TikTok.
Op TikTok of Facebook,
Hmm.
YouTube.
Ja. Okay, can I join?
Yes.
Start your engines.
Jy kan vir u opbel as jy sou wou.
Okay, cool. What's up, big dog?
Recording in progress.
What's happening?
Not much, and you?
Good.
Why are you guys late today?
We're not late. You're late.
Is it? It's 4 minutes after.
2 minutes.
The TV was switched off, so the TV couldn't connect to the internet. And there we go. Luckily, it's on now. It's happening.
Come on, busy, very busy day. You keep me very busy. I love it.
Okay.
Yes. I'm just refreshing. I'm joining on Zoom now.
Okay, cool.
But I'm refreshing the other one, so let's see.
I'm excited. I actually met two up-and-coming entrepreneurs at the hairdresser. So hopefully they are on our live today, and I promised them that I'll take their question first. So have a look in the chat on TikTok, and they are in the real estate industry. So they're going to be selling houses but want to focus on building a brand on social media, because no one's really doing it properly. We did consult for a company, but yeah, very nice couple as well, husband and wife tag team, but they've got a lot of businesses going on at the same time, and they're busy like restructuring their lives a little bit, so they'll start deploying the strategy very shortly. But hopefully they posted their question on TikTok, so be on the lookout for that. It's regarding real estate and how to build a brand on the real estate market as a person that influences. So I'm not sure if you saw, we were invited to a young entrepreneurs summit. I think it's the 9th of December, Els, am I right?
Yes.
9th of December. So these are all CEOs and executives and presidents of companies, but who are under 30. So young, up and coming CEOs. And the reason why they asked us to come is to speak about social media presence and how it can affect your sales, so directly to sales, and how you can actually deploy some of the strategies that we can use, or they can use rather, in real time, that we use daily. So I'm excited. It's on the 9th of December. So I'll still chat to you off camera about that. But quite exciting. I think we're going to be on stage for about 45 minutes.
Sorry, say again?
I think they want us on stage for about 45 minutes.
That's very good.
Yeah, the guy.
Q&A afterwards as
and
well.
a Q&A. So the guy spoke to us about 2 hours ago about what the expectation is, etc., etc. So I'd love for you to join, but you're going to have to fly to Durban.
Okay.
If you
For
can.
the 9th of December.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday.
We can chat. Yes, definitely. We can chat.
Cool.
Cool.
Can you see us everywhere?
Yes, everything is up and running.
Okay.
You guys are good to go.
Thanks,
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Just
Dankie,
shoot.
Linda.
Dankie, Ella. Just shoot me the questions that you have so far, and I'm going to kick it off.
Okay, awesome.
Masterclass Monday. In real time, we're going to process whatever it is that you're currently struggling with, whether it's driving sales teams, whether it's social media marketing, whether it's a strategy that you've seen us use and you want me to unpack in more detail. It's hiring, firing entrepreneurs. It's not so much the firing part, because eventually what happens if you don't know how to do it properly is there's a scent of resentment that is created if you can't drive the salesperson or the manager or the teammate properly. And you sort of, the worst thing that you do is, I'm speaking from experience, the worst thing that I've ever done is walk the journey, walk the journey, walk the journey, be afraid to have that tough conversation, not being able to have a crucial conversation properly or the correct way. And then what ends up happening is that person stays there 6, 9, 12, 18 months, and you guys just hate each other. And then at the end of the day, it's a big fight, and they either resign or you have to fire them, and it's not classy. So if you're struggling with that, I've got a few um, tips and points of view that I can share with you. But the format is very simple. Whatever you currently need to process, automotive industry, buying a car, selling a car, if you've had a sour deal somewhere, if you're currently struggling on the F&I part, finance and insurance is in the region of between 40 and 50% of a dealership's income. Um, if done properly, the customer is taken care of, the value added products that the customer actually needs are there. The value added products that can protect the customer is loaded. So you need to do a proper needs analysis, not just slap on everything and hope for the best and try and get the most commission that you possibly can. So any questions about F&I, we do consult a lot of independent F&Is at dealerships where they actually go and pay the consultation fee on their own and just increase their value in the marketplace. Whatever it is that you currently want me to unpack, shoot it in the comments. I am ready. How many people joined? That's more than two.
168.
168. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any questions that I can grab?
So Rian verjaar en hy vra of daar nie 'n GTI is waarin ons hom 'n spin kan.
Rian, where do you stay? Rian, if you're in a GTI,
I say GTI.
a GTI.
Probably GTI.
If it's a GTI, Rian, still only couldn't answer last time. Okay. So GTI, I have a funny story about a GTI this weekend. I drove a Golf R, Golf 8R, and Sunday I'm involved in our church, and it's a church in the area of Midrand. So I was there nice and early, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. So I'm all fired up after the service. We've got an awesome priest. His name is Yonko, and I think Yonko is just under 50, so he's very young. But he's always a friend to everybody. So even though he's a spiritual leader, he's more like a friend. You can talk to him easy, and every Sunday fires us all up. Anyway, I feel amazing after that. Jump in my car. I'm on my way home. I'm excited, and then all of a sudden, a metro cop behind me in another GTR. So I was driving a Golf 8R, a blue one. I had it on story, and the metro cop was just as excited. Puts on lights, all this other stuff, flashing me, saying I must pull over. Anyway, I pull over, and we have a conversation. He says, "Why are you driving so fast?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I normally never speed." So it's like, "You were driving fast." I'm like, "I'm so sorry, officer. How fast was I driving?" He says, "You were driving fast. Where are you going? Why are you racing? Where are you coming from? Open your boot." And luckily, there was three gentlemen in the car, and the one gentleman jumped out and he said, "Hey, Uncle Bobby from TikTok, what's up? What's up?" So we greet each other nicely. So we start chatting about cars and do I have any GTIs? I'm like, "No, I'm not selling you GTIs because you speed with these things. You see, I'm in trouble now." Anyway, long story short, if you want to go for a spin in a GTI, I'm your guy. Come tomorrow. We'll sing happy birthday for you. I'll take you for a nice test drive in a GTI around the speed limit. No problem, because otherwise we'll get into trouble again. And we can enjoy half an hour together. You're more than welcome to pull in if you're in the area. Having said that, the questions started coming. All right. How do you advise your car sales execs when it comes to marketing? So that's a great question. I hope you're in the car industry. Cars with Armando. Cars with Armando. And I see you are. Keys. So great question. I've got this theory. I never had an Uncle Bobby to look up to in the motor industry to see and mimic and ask questions and bounce. So what I've decided to do is create that person that I always needed coming up as a sales exec and gift him to the world, including you. That's why I do this. I don't need to do this. I do this because I want to be the person that you extract value from. So when it comes to marketing, depending on what tier you belong to, we run our company in 3 tiers. So we have 5 branches. I run tier 3, which is Mid Mac 1. It's the branch on Gerrit Minutes and West Street. That's where I sit. That's where my computer is. That's where all the negotiation videos happen. And at tier 3, we every single day look at what I do and the salespeople mimic. So they know what my posting times are, they know how we create copy, they know how we edit, they know how we create hashtags so that our content runs. Over the last week, we should actually do an analysis, else. I want you to have a look because we've changed our strategy again. Me and Elena have started doing some stuff on the side, and I'm 100% sure over the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, we've been averaging 500,000 organic views per day. I was just fact check me there, but if we go and look at what we started doing over and above the posts that we normally post, about 500,000 unique eyeballs that we generate a day. So for tier 3, they need to look and mimic exactly what I do. Tier 1 and 2, we have we used to have it twice a week and then once a week. Now I have it every month, 2 days a month. So we'll pick a like a random Wednesday or a Thursday morning, and the 7 to 8 training session will be mainly on story. How do you properly do story? And have a call to action. Now my Facebook stories, on the lower end, 15,000 unique views per story per day. I normally have between 6 and 10. And on Instagram, it's between 12 and 13. On the high end, about 25K to 30K per story. And Instagram on the high end, between 18 and 22,000 unique views on my story. So this is, I put no budget behind my social media. There's zero budget. We had a marketing manager long ago that me and him always had a tug of war regarding, putting money behind content. And eventually I decided I need to do this properly because it's easy for you to put 1,000 Rand on a post and look like a hero where that post overperforms 300, 400K views, but the rest of them have 700 and 800. Now, the people that know will instantly catch there's a budget behind that. But if you get really good at the first 3 seconds, the next 3 seconds, the next 3 seconds. So I tell my team, if we can retain attention for 3 seconds, we're good. Six seconds on a piece of content, we are really good. And if we can retain your attention for 9 seconds on a piece of content, that is walking on water level good. So how do we get that done? And every week, there's something that I learn. And then bi-monthly, so twice a month, I will pass down that knowledge in a major big training session. We've got a training center rather that seats 64 people, biggest TV that you've ever seen in your life, right in front. I take my phone, I'll share a piece of content with them, say, right, now we're going to edit this together, put captions on. We're going to have a call to action, either leading it to a link or leading it to a like or whatever it is, leading it to a DM. And then you're going to layer music over it this way. And these are the times that you should post. And this is the frequency. So to answer your question, tier 1 and 2 will have 2 training sessions a month with me. Tier 3, if you've made it to tier 3 and you get to sit with me, you get to see what I figure out in real time every single day. As Elsie is recording, you are listening to my closing calls, and we all learn as a group, and we all fail as a group together as well. Hope that answers your question. Okay, let's do Uncle B. What is a balloon payment? Is it in simple terms? Very simple terms. We've processed this many times, but basically a balloon payment is The newer the car, the higher the balloon payment. One new and 1 and maybe 2-year-old cars can get 40%, and then it gradually decreases. So 3 years, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, even 5% balloon is possible. But that percentage gets placed aside. You get to enjoy the benefit of a lower installment for the term leading up to the last month. So if it's a 72-month installment, let's say for simple maths, it's a 200,000 Rand car, it should be 40 a month, 40% balloon. That means you are now going to enjoy an installment of 2.5, but 72-month installment is not 2.5. It's going to be around 80,000 Rand. In simple terms, that's what balloon is. So great if you understand it, super nasty if you don't. So if the FNI doesn't explain it to you, leading up to 72 months, in your mind, in the back of your mind, I'm going to pay my car off. It's going to be my asset. It belongs to me. The bank says, how's it, boss? Here's a letter that says you owe us 82,500 Rand in the next 3 months, whatever the time period is. They give you a heads up, and you need to refinance, pay it in full, or just sell the car. So very cool if you understand it and you've got a strategy. If the salesperson has had the knowledge and the wherewithal to explain it to you properly, ask you questions whether or not it's a good fit for you and your family. If it is, great, I'm all for it. If you understand it, I'm super against it. If you don't understand it, if you do crazy knowledge and you like to change your car very frequently, like 12, 18 months, not a great idea. Okay, what's the highest number of sales that was ever made by a salesperson in your company in 1 month? So that's also a good question. The number is 32. 32. Almost broke it last month, but because the salespeople did, we smashed every record last month. Our last standing record with Westbank was 4 years ago. We put a big number on Westbank's board 4 years ago, and last month we exceeded that big number with over 2 million Rand worth of cars that we paid out. So we had a fantastic month last month. And a couple of the salespeople, we call it sandbagging. So on like the 27th already, they had achieved all the financial targets that they wanted to. They stopped their month. I always allow that. It's not a problem. You run a business inside our business. If you want to stop on 32 cars, and then whatever you sell from the 28th onwards, we can count for next month. It's possible, but on paper 32, but in reality 38 in one single in the month. The trick here is we've got a lot of two bonuses. So now you have three top tier guys that see each other. Okay, this dude stopped on 32 and he's already full for the next month, which means he's going to get the first to 10 bonus next month. So I'm also going to stop my month so that I have an opportunity to chase him. We have a lot of fun with first twos. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I brought it in about, I've changed our commission structure many, many times, and we changed it 2 months ago. But the first two bonuses have been a phenomenal initiative. That's part of my next innovative campaign that changed our business. So there's a lot of strategy between the salespeople towards month end. But I hope that answers your question. But to do 32 cars, you need to understand that you are directly working with me. So I'm a psychopath. I'm not lacquer in my head. If I'm awake, I'm at work. If I'm awake, I'm working. So we've got an arrangement. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. So anything before 10 o'clock that comes on my phone, that hits my phone. If you message me 9:30, I'll reply, send a lead out to one of the 3 or 4 legends that I send out at night, and they will contact you at 9:30 because you contacted me. I'm going to over deliver on service. At 10 o'clock, I go to bed, then I'll catch those at 4 a.m. when I wake up, and I'll start sending them out again. When the team is awake, I start communicating with you. So it's not easy to do 30 cars, 32 cars a month. It's really not. But, the guys that do it don't have degrees and, actually the guy that holds the record, he's got an MBA in the street. So he's a proper people's person. He understands cultures, he understands colors, he understands age groups, he understands how to speak to people. And he puts in the hours. It's what you put in. 200 plus connected calls a day, 9 to 12 applications in at F&I per day. He's got assistants, he's got drivers, he's got dedicated F&Is. But the boys and girls really, really work hard. Okay, next question. How's it, Uncle Bob? Want to open up a dealership. What's your advice be? Uh, I have the premises. So it's a good question. What would my advice be? You already have the premises. You need to, and this is it's probably the best advice. Not even if you open a dealership, but if you're selling cars, you need to understand who do you want to be. So who do you want to be? And this is something that a guy taught me many years ago. Eventually, we were very friendly. He was already 20 years in the business, and I was probably in my fifth, sixth year. And he said to me, Bob's, I've got this dealership, stay small, just keep it at this size, don't grow. It comes with headache. But I always knew how I was wired. And sometimes I say to the people around me that I tire people out. And I wish sometimes I was wired the way that some of the dealerships are. Because if I am, the other balance of life is different. And there's no right or wrong answer for you here. But my advice is you need to decide who you want to be as a dealer. And there's a trade-off. If you want to compete with me and you want to beat the number one dealer on the African continent, you need to be prepared to wake up at 4 every morning, go and train your body so you've got excessive energy throughout the day and work until 10 p.m. every day, including Sunday, for 20 years. And that's the trade-off. And if that's not for you, I'm actually happy for you. If you want to open a dealership and sell 30 cars a month and net X amount of profit in your bank and take care of 25 people properly or 20 people where you look after 20 families properly and incentivize them so everybody has a high quality of life. And whatever the balance is in your life, whether it's taking your kids on a Sunday to the Val and spending the day on the boat. If you want to compete against me and you want to do that, I'm going to crush you. It's not even fair how hard I'm going to make you question your life decisions. But then on the other side of the fence, I can't get to spend a day at the Val on a boat because of the way I'm wired. So decide what you want to do and then go out and look at somebody that's doing that at a very, very high level for a long time and dissect their strategy, their stock holding. Now, some of the competitors in the street, I knew what their stock holding was better than they did. When I wanted to beat the guy across the street from us, the first conversation I had with him was he invited himself for tea one day. He says, Bob's, I want to have tea with you. I said, cool. So I asked him, what time do you come to work? He said to me at night. Cool. What time do you leave? I leave at 4. I said, great. How long have you been here? I've been here for 30 years. Amazing. You've earned it. All I did is I swapped the 2 times around. I started working at 4 and I stopped working at 9. 9 months later, I caught him and I overtook him as a baby. So who do you want to be? Dissect what that means to you. And then here's the part which you need to understand very, very clearly. If you decide to be the 35 car per month person, grossing or netting X amount profit, let's say you want to make 400K profit that you bank, then, looking at a dealership like us selling 220, 250 cars must not make you jealous, upset, or angry. It needs to be peaceful because if it makes you jealous, upset, or angry, that means that's not you at your core wanting to be whatever you've decided to be. So it's a lot of, digging inside and then producing the results based on who you want to be. And there's no right or wrong answer. If you wired for 30 cars, salute. If you wired for 300 cars, salute. Let's fucking go to war against, everybody else. You make a decision and then you go with that. Hope I added value to you, sir. And good luck. Very tough industry. Lots of respect for anybody that's in our industry. The highest level of respect, especially the entrepreneurs who risk it all. You risk you put up your house against the floor plan. You risk it all to go and over deliver and serve customers and make a living for yourself and your team. So lots of respect. Good luck, and you're gonna smash it if you have a positive attitude. Um, Lucky for 70K. So we've got a massive auction tomorrow. We couldn't film and present all the cars that are going to be on auction tomorrow because the two nicest cars that we have, um, one is going to be here at 12 tomorrow, the other one's probably going to be at 3 tomorrow, but they will be on auction and we will showcase them. But there is a bucket tomorrow at 70, 5 Corsa, and there's a Bantam. I think the Bantam is going to start at 35. So join our auction live tomorrow, 5:30 for 6. You'll definitely find a car for yourself there. I want to win the Polo Boss. So, yeah, I can't use that word because it gets blocked. But my dad always gives me this joke. He said, "This man, is really faithful and he needs the money." And he says he just prays he wants to win the lotto. He wants to win the lotto. And then, all of a sudden he hears a voice. He says, "You can win the lotto if you have a ticket." So that's my advice to you, brother. Okay. How's it, boss? I have a BMW 854 35i. Absolutely loved and clean. What is retail price that I could sell the car for? So if you want to sell me a car, my cell phone number is in my actual username. It's my number. People are still surprised to say that, I can't believe that you answered, Uncle B. I can't believe that you answered. And it's my number. So if you want to sell me the car, all you need to do is send me a couple of images of the vehicle, so front, back, side, interior, full description like you did now with the license disc. We run some background checks on the vehicle. Like I've said hundreds of times on these lives I've bought, and I'm not saying your car is cloned or stolen, but we have a process, 5-step process before we even go out to come and view the car. But we'll make you an offer. If you accept our offer, then we send a buyer who's going to come and do a quick evaluation, test drive the car, make sure mechanically it's lacquer, do the paperwork. It takes 25 minutes max, and the money's in your account. So send me all the details. My number is in my username. It's 0825426659, and then I'll shoot you a WhatsApp tomorrow morning because the team that will help you price the vehicle has already left. Was it Eugene or Eddie? So great question. And this time around, it was both. Um, so they both overachieved. They went past 30, but they both decided to start their month on a high. So both of the boys are doing phenomenally well, but they work really, 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 really hard. And I push them until both of them come to me and say, "I can't take leads." So this is the only dealership where salespeople say, "Bob's, I can't take more leads." I'm like, "Take leads." "I can't. Please don't send me leads." And then I send him, I sneak one in. Like, "This is not a lead. This is a deal. Take the money." The person just wants an invoice. "I really can't. I apologize. Please send it to someone else," because they are swamped. They literally don't have time to go and pee. What's the commission like on 32 cars? Strictly for motivational purposes. I would like to get into sales. So great question. And it depends on how many tiers they hit first. So first to 10, first to 15, first to 20, first to 25, first to 30. It's multi six figure. It's a big payday, huge payday. So they do well. They come to work with LVs, multiple properties, extra income. Edge drives an M4 to work. By the way, one of, I think, like only 5 with a sunroof. He's got an M4 with a sunroof. Like everybody wants to buy this car from him because it doesn't have the carbon roof, but it's got a sunroof. Very cool car. Obviously bought it from Uncle Bobby. I sold him the car. It was a trade-in with us. As someone who is 45 and looking for transition into the car sales industry with no direct dealership experience, what steps would you recommend to successfully enter and build a career in this field? So that's an amazing question. And I'm going to answer it for a 45-year-old, a 55-year-old, and an 18-year-old. It's the same answer. You need to get into a dealership where you can actually first-hand experience, witness somebody that is an operator, somebody that can actually do the job. Now, I've hired the most qualified people in this industry over the last 5 years, and they qualified on CV. Where's my favorite book? Barbarians to Bureaucrats. Oh, it's behind you. Can you pass me that book? Right behind you. Thank you. So Barbarians to Bureaucrats, I've probably handed out 400 copies of this book. Everyone that came to our masterclass has got this as a gift from me with a personalized message. But what happens is sometimes your most highest qualified people on paper. So I've got two rules. You are book smart or you are street smart. And very, very few times people actually catch it. You need to be both. A lot of the times, the people that come with the biggest CVs are book smart. So they can dissect each and every sequencing on a spreadsheet. They can predict analytically what's happening in the market. They are amazing until the Indian uncle walks in and says, "Hey, how's it, boss?" Which I had literally 10 minutes ago. I've seen another car in Gazina at 7:20. You're looking for the Facebook pin
Yes.
code. At 7:20, your car is 769. Why should I even buy your car? They're giving me 230 for my trading. You giving me 200 for my trading. So Uncle B, you need to match this price. I want to see the guy that's got the PhD and his book smart handle that, Uncle. Can't. So I would suggest work with someone that is an operator and not an operator in an office in an Eiffel Tower. And I'm not asking you to come work for me. I don't have space for you, but work for someone that actually is very, very good at what they do and you can learn. So what you need to do is you don't have more time than the 18-year-old. You need to compress 20 years of experience into 2 years. I interviewed a rock star on Thursday. He killed it in the property industry. He's got 3 paid up properties that he's busy selling, and then he just bought a house here in Centurion. Absolute stud of a guy. Married, he's got 6 children, 3 with the second wife and 3 with the first one. His wife, current wife, absolute serial killer in the industry. She does really well financially. And I asked him, why do you want to work for me? He said, Uncle B, you've got the skill set. I've seen you grow. I've followed you for the last 3 years. I want to be close to you. Proximity is very important for me. I said to him, cool. You understand that you are CR7. You are the Ronaldo of the property game. You're going to be water boy. Do you understand what water boy means? What does it mean? I said, water boy means, you see this dude, Louis, he comes out of our cadetship program. He did 20, they did 22 cars last month. 22 cars, Louis did. Okay, 22 cars. He's been selling cars for on his own for 6 months, and he's been a cadet for over 12 months, so 13 months. So he's been in this industry for 18 months. He is, he is one of 10 Ronaldos in my team. You're going to be taking cars for Louis, who's 21, 22 years old, to DECRA, to the depot for fuel, to go and make sure that the PDI stuff. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You got 6 kids. Your oldest child is older than Louis, but you're going to be his cadet. For 6 months, you're going to earn a shitty salary until you start taking in the knowledge and then deploying. Because in the automotive industry, people, real pros don't say this to you. I'm a pro. I'm the best at this. Whoever lived and worked, because that's how I talk to myself. Your income doesn't gradually go up in this industry. It's flat and then it shoots up because one day everything, all the departments, how they communicate with each other and how everything works. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Okay, click, and then all the colors match. And then you go from selling 4, 5 cars a month, you jump to 15, 20, 25, 30. And then it's just work ethic and how much pain can you handle from me? Because I'm going to give it to you, boy, all the time. So my advice is work with someone that's an actual operator that is fantastic at what they do. And you can see him do that at arm's length. And you can extract and compress time. So in 2 to 5 years, you've built a solid customer base. You've got a Rolodex. You're 45 years old. You know what a Rolodex is. If you're 19 years old, go and use Google and find out what a Rolodex is. But the moment you build up that Rolodex, you're guaranteed 15 deals a month. The tier 3 guys that I look after, they start each month on 50 cars because they know how to extract referrals. They know how to work with people. So that's my advice, and I hope it helps you. Amazing industry. It's changed my life. It's changed the lives of hundreds of people that have been around me. So go kill it, man. Which month of the year is the most cars sold? So it's a good question, and it's very different. It always 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it used to be December because I was selling cheapies, and people got some bonuses in December, and they saved up during the year, and they could buy 70,000 rand cash car. Currently, very hard, but over the past couple of years, our record months have always been until this year, January. So January is normally a killer month, but October for us was, I mean, we just smashed every record out there in the book. We killed it. So great question. I don't have the right answer for you. Sorry, man. Hanko B, what is your opinion on CX5 Carbon Edition versus Dynamic? So I love the CX5, a little bit dated on the tech, on the engines, but if you think about the Carbon Edition and the Dynamic, is the Carbon Edition worth the extra money? Aesthetically, it goes to preference and taste, but I love both cars. We always sell them well. There's always a fight when a nice one comes in with low mileage. Never, ever, ever, ever do they break and give me problems. Electronically, they're solid, but they have been building them for a long time. So they've almost perfected that car. It's like buying a 320D. It's a good car. Just buy one and drive one. CX5, good car. How can a young person with a little capital start in the business and build up? It's also a good question. You need to be book smart and street smart here. But what I would suggest to you is connect yourself to someone in the industry that you trust. Here's why. They'll give you a trade-in or they'll allow you to buy, like on our auction. And I'm not saying buy on our auction. Don't buy on our auction. Giving you advice. But they will allow you to come under their wing and protect you from buying a cloned or a stolen, because at the level that we haven't bought one in 5 years, but even if we were to buy one, we can survive that hit. We can make it up and move on and go on, and I won't need to lay people off. But when you're starting out, you're literally probably investing 80, 90%, sometimes 100% of your capital in one car. You cannot afford a cloned or stolen vehicle. So the best thing that you can do now is just build a relationship with someone that you trust, that will not screw you with a stolen or cloned vehicle. That's the most important part. Will you be interested to expand in Zambia? So for now, unfortunately, I'm not looking into expansion anyway. Um, we have we have been doing really, really well, and we've worked extremely hard to perfect the processes at our recon center. It takes us 4 days to take a car from you that's submitted a lead to us. It takes us 4 days to get the car through quality check, rims, paint for scratched bumpers. We've got the rims that we do on site. We've got a fully equipped tire shop, dents, leather tech. If there's scratches on the seat, on the interior, leather tech subcontracts to BMW South Africa and Roslyn. So they've got a shop there. They've got a shop in our depot. It's taken me and my team probably the last 4 years to I'm not going to say perfected, but come very close to perfect at the depot. And I can easily go and open a floor in Cape Town, in Durban, but my fear is I want to deliver the same quality that we do here. So for now, at least for the next 12 months, I'm not even looking up to go and open dealerships at other places. I deliver within 3 working days anywhere in the country. We've built a solid brand where people trust us to buy a car without seeing it. And you've got a letter that I signed that if the vehicle is not in 110% perfect condition, the way that you expect it and deserve it, you just need to put the car back on the truck, and I'll bring it back. So for now, no expansion, never mind Zambia. But lots of fans in Zambia. Appreciate you guys. Lots of love from Zambia and Namibia. People in Namibia also love our content. I think South Africa and Namibian culture rather, is very, very close. So that's why we've got a good dynamic, a good vibe. Much love, brother. And I would love to visit. Actually, I have been to Zambia long ago. Um, we went to Me and my wife went for a honeymoon to Zanzibar, and I think we stopped over at Zambia, and the airport was um, the size of one of our dealerships, tiny little airport. It was quite cool. Been following you for a few years. What advice do you have when approaching dealerships? So, very open-ended question. I don't know in which area are you approaching dealerships, to start working there, to buy a car, to sell a car.
He's interested in into comp.
Oh, M2 comp. Interested. Okay, great. So, firstly, with BMW, it's a lot easier. The first thing that you want to request is a motor plan summary. So, is there any comments on the car? So, BMW, if there's any repairs on the vehicle, insurance claims, it's recorded on the motor plan. It has to be. You can't do it outside of that, because if they pick up repairs and it wasn't done through them, they will cancel the motor plan. So, comments, very important. Does the car have comments, accident history? And then if it does, don't just run away from the car, because sometimes a comment is, the person hooked the bumper, or the wife reversed into a pot plant, or you hit a pothole. Today, you hit a pothole with the M2 comp, you bend the rim, you do a tire, you do a shock, and in the shock pot mounting, it could be like 150, 180,000 Rand worth of damage from hitting a pothole. So dig deep into the motor plan and the history of that vehicle on the BMW system. Okay. Do you know of any websites to do a background check on the car? So that doesn't exist. We are one of 3 only dealerships in the country that have access, literally plugged into eNatus, access 24/7, 365, if their system is not offline. Sometimes it is, but it hardly ever is. So it's a very valid question. Unfortunately, the answer is no, and it's due to POPIA. We had to we had to go through a lot of hoops, and the other unfair part from their part is you have to sell a lot of cars per year. They measure your registrations per year before they can open you up on that system. So unfortunately, there isn't. And it's mainly due to POPIA, because when we plug into the system, we see a lot of personal information, and we had to sign contracts that may not leak out, etc., etc. I wish this was open to the public and everybody could see it, but unfortunately, it's not. So that's a bit of bad news. Sorry, man. I've been at my dealership for 10 years as a sales manager. Need advice to hit better numbers. So yeah, 10 years, same dealership. I just want to see top Jeep. Okay, cool. Um, 10 years, same dealership. Um, Need advice to hit better numbers. So, typically you'd be the perfect candidate um, to, to get us to do an engagement, a 90-minute engagement. Um, I do consult for a lot of dealerships. How do you go from 30 to 50? How do you go from 50 to 80? How do you go from 80 to 120? How do you go from 150 to 200? I can tell you how, because I actually actively do that every single day. So I share with you processes, procedures in detail, sequencing. I just want to grab this. Top G, I'm on a TikTok live, Mav. Please phone you back.
Okay, no, phone me back.
Okay, I'll call you back. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye bye. So, in great detail, we go and unpack each area of your day. So, as a sales manager, I'm going to give you some of the value. As a sales manager, you need to control your time and your team's time until 8:30. So, it's hyper important. And here's the sequencing: you need to train your team from 7 to 8. Train them from 7 to 8 on issues that they're currently struggling with. For example, at a stage, we had a very low conversion from lead to application. So, low conversion from lead to application means we don't know how to wear the finder's hat properly. Okay, we don't know the sequencing in scripted questions to ask the consumer to properly qualify them on it. Because remember, most searched for car on Auto Trader is a 3 Series BMW. Okay, the aspiration factor. Most sold car on Auto Trader is a Polo Viva, which means people are coming in for a Golf R, and because you're not properly qualifying them, you're not getting the deal, but they should be buying a TSI 1.2 with a sunroof. So your salespeople don't know, oh, I'm sorry, not yours, because we haven't had the conversation. There was a stage when my salespeople didn't know how to have that conversation, that one-on-one engagement. So what happens is we're sending out 200 plus leads, but we're only getting in 30 apps a day. Stupid low conversion. So why is that happening? We don't know. And then my favorite, the leads are cock. Then I want to throw a cup at you. Um, Eventually, I decided, okay, cool. Let me let me process this in real time. I found a lead, you found a lead. I found a lead, you found a lead. And I started training them on how to actually properly qualify that person. All of a sudden, 300% increase in applications. Then the next thing breaks. So our conversion ratio, now our approvals go from 10 a day to 30 a day. But now our conversion ratio goes from 50%, which is 5 on the 10 approvals, to 30%. Okay, we're still selling more cars, but it's not 50%. So then we need to train them on how to properly use a closing sheet. Now, the moment I introduced the closing sheet, it just quadrupled our sales, but you need to sequence that closing sheet. So the best advice that I can give you is, and I don't want to take you on, I've never met you, but I'm speaking as me in your position a couple of years ago. I needed to get good in all those areas in order for me to transfer that energy and that knowledge and that sequencing to my team so that they get good. So, whatever areas the team currently lacks in, that's the areas that you need to become phenomenal at, and they need to see you do it because leadership and this industry is caught and not taught. What that means is you can't teach them to close. They have to see you close, and then they'll close the way that you close. Very, very misaligned. As a sales manager, normally in a franchise dealership, the guy's 200 kgs overweight, sitting in an office smoking cigarettes, eating pizza all day, and chatting up the F&I and screaming at the people because they're not delivering cars. Like, I'll never work for a person like that. But you get some sales managers that are rock stars that actually sit with their people. And when you've got an objection or very difficult close, you come and sit next to me. And I found that customer and we process the issue together on speaker in real time while everybody's listening. So you need to get good in the areas that you currently suck at. It's a little bit of ego management. So you need to leave your ego out the door, take a pen and paper, and say, my team is really good at this, this. I would like my team to improve in these areas. But before they can improve in these areas, because they're a reflection of you, you need to improve in those areas. So how do you do that? Figure that out and inject it back into your team. And now I lost where my questions were. So I'm going to just, okay, got it. I'm back. Like Uncle Bobby said, bro, just show up every day, put in the time, benefit has to come. Patience and time is key. Remember me when you get the first one. So, yeah, Patience is the key. However, there's one layer that I want to add on that. Self-analysis is the most important part. If you go on our YouTube channel, we've built a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel, and you go on the oldest videos. When I spoke on camera, I had a lot of um, look. I used to say look the whole time. Look, look, like, bro, we're looking. So self-analysis is me doing a 3-hour podcast with Peniel, who, by the way, is one of the best communicators on the African continent. You can like him, you can hate him, you can love him, you can follow him, whatever, doesn't matter. He is one of the best communicators on the African continent. Then I watch that podcast of 3 hours 10 times and I'll make notes because I know Penny's coming in 2 weeks. We're going to unpack these 3 issues, and I sound shit compared to a master. And if I eliminate these 4 things that I do that irritate the fuck out of me, I'll sound better next to the master. And eventually, 10 episodes later, I sounded a little bit better. And I just received an email today, I forgot to share it.
Yeah.
We have 2,000 uploads on our YouTube channel. 2,000 pieces of content that were professionally edited with great sound that were recorded in the studio and uploaded to YouTube. 2,000 pieces of content later, and many reruns in my head, in my car, on the phone, watching myself trying to improve. So yeah, that's the layer that people miss, and that is to self-analyze unapologetically. Bobby, you suck. Stop fucking saying look. If you say look one more time, you need to do 50 push-ups. So 10 times 50, you better stop saying look. That's the advice I can give you. Working for you, I earn at midnight. I know if you guys are working. Bena, depending on the industry that you're in, brother. So it all depends if you are in sales, if you are in buying, if you're in the workshop. It depends what you do at your current position. I've got some guys, you earn a very decent salary. I've got some guys that earn 3 times the amount you do. Um, it's not uncommon. You earn a lot of money, congrats. But to earn 3 times the amount that you currently earn, it's a big effort. It's a big, big push. And it sounds romantic working with Uncle Bobby. It's freaking rough. I will exhaust you. I don't care who you are. I will exhaust you. There's very few people in our company that I don't exhaust, but those are few and far apart, and it's taken me decades to get them. To earn that type of salary, multi six-figure salary, I will literally drive you up the wall every day, all day. We can celebrate for 2 minutes. Where's my Where's my bag? On the weekend, I bought. It's called cigarillas. It's there. It's there today. Eddie had it on his story because everyone's like, "Hey, Uncle Bobby's smoking cigars, top G." So I said, "No, I'm gonna go to the smoke shop and I'm gonna buy cigarillas." So today, at around, I think it was 9, 10 o'clock for breakfast, I gave everyone Monte Cristos, and like 6, 7 of us had a nice celebration at the back there. The managers were there, F and I was there, a couple of the salespeople, even the cadets. Can I also have a cigarette? I'm like, come join me. So we had a cigar at the back of the dealership. People couldn't believe that they saw me smoking, and it was fun. But that lasted 8 to 10 minutes, and then I'm driving the fuck out of you in a good way. Let's go. Answer the leads. Did you find this customer? Here's a lead. Give me feedback. Let's go. Let's go until 10 o'clock tonight. So congrats on your success. It's very hard to earn that type of money, but it is possible to grow from that. You just need to get good at the things that you're currently not good at and just keep your ego in check. Because if I look at that salary, I visited PBD 2 years ago at his house. He lives in a R500 million house. Messi's his neighbor, and the yachts, moving up and down there are worth tens of 20s of $30 million. So at that type of salary, all you need to do is be humble, Your tummy should not be full. Whatever you did to get yourself there, you need to double up on that to continuously build momentum. It's very easy at that income to get distracted and do dumb shit and buy dumb shit. And that's when you lose momentum and you'll never grow past that. So my advice is whatever you're doing, do it just 1% better every single week. Just slightly better. And the real value is in doing the simple stuff better than everybody else. That's the real value. A soccer ball at my feet is probably worth a broken ankle and some muscles that are sore the next day or two. But a soccer ball at Ronaldo's feet is worth $1 billion.
So you can't play soccer.
I can play soccer. I can, but not as well as Ronaldo.
Oh, okay.
That's just it is what it is. Maybe a little bit better in my dreams. So that's my advice to you. The simple stuff really, really well. Uncle Bobby, I gotta ask, do you have ever had Beatles for sale? Do you or have you ever had Beatles for sale? Yes, we have. We've sold a few, but I would buy a super duper 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 clean, as original as possible Beetle that we can sell, and it's not something that's gonna push out oil all over. Not that the really clean ones don't leak oil, that's standard, but something really special. We recently, one of my friends bought like a phenomenally nice Beetle. We did a few small touch ups and good service brakes because those cars don't have the best brakes. And yeah, his car, white, white walls, black leather. Man, that car's pretty, but they are very hard to get and they're worth a lot of money. So if you have one or know of one, you can really get proper money for that car if it's an original one. What's your view on buying second-hand performance car like an RS3 on M3? Need advice. So, good question. Number one rule for us, I don't mind tune baboon exhaust. I don't mind that if it's done professionally and it's an expensive exhaust. So acro pipes on an M4, that you're talking 120, 140k, 180k exhaust system. The guy that has the money to do that took care of his car. He's riding on proper tires. He's maintaining his vehicle. He's not skimping on services. He's not servicing it at his chummy using cheap ass oil, and then the conrod goes through the block. But anything over and above that, I would advise you to walk away. Stay. I had a very nice Focus offered to me probably midday today. The right color. It's a ST3. The car's got beautiful wheels. And when I see wheels, say to the guys, the car stock. Now I've got a downpipe and stage 2 software. I said, brother, your car's beautiful. Appreciate the opportunity. I won't buy the car unless it's stock. So just be wary of that. And again, BMW, go motor plan. Historically, is their comments, because sometimes the guys are, yeah, they hit their head against the wall and they go on an M4, go and do software on an M4. Like, why? Or go and do hybrid turbo on an M4. Why? The moment you see that, just walk away from the car, run away. The car's been raced. It's not taken care of. The guy's like knows the thing is about to explode. So rather stock car, decent service history, lots of traceability on ownership. We sell them all the time. Like RS3s, we can't keep up. I've got a list as long as the stable for people that want to pay me now for clean RS3s that are mid-mac RS3s that we say, here's the car, here's an extended 2-year warranty. M3s as well. M3s must be stock. Anything outside of the exhaust that was done, just walk away from the car. Rather be patient, wait a week or 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, then, use your money into a money pit. When is the best time of the day to post on social media if you're only going to do one post per day? Jean-Pierre, JP. So I'll give you this advice. If it's a long form piece of content, so long form, longer than a 90-second reel, the best time will be at night, because that's when people have put the kids to bed. That's when people have done whatever they needed to do, and they, okay. Now, if it's going to be a short form piece of content, it depends on what the call to action is. So if you're showing me something to educate me, very early. If you want to sell me, during lunchtime, 12 to 2 o'clock. If you want to take me on a journey, like for example, let's go and drive this A35 and show you the exhaust and all this other stuff. And it's a 7-minute video late at night. So that will be my advice to you. Well, a 1994 Honda Ballard 1600 Lux 1600 one owner be a good buy. Yes, those Honda Ballard 1600 I's, Lux line with 60,000 Ks, 1994 model. Man, buy that. You should have bought that car already. That's a car that will outlive you, brother. Those cars are bulletproof. If it's a stock standard car, it's got decent service history. You buy that car, you'll drive it. They've got a specific smell, those Hondas. It smells so nice inside. The guys that have owned them will know what I'm talking about. And they drive lacquer. Like the steering is like one of my favorite cars. How much do I need to qualify for latest Kia Rio automatic? Let's say it's whatever the amount is. What you need to do is 30% of your gross may go towards a vehicle. So if you earn 10,000 Rand, 3 grand may go towards a vehicle. 26, 39. So Kia Rio new spec like that, you're probably looking at the upper 200,000 Rand. So you need to be earning somewhere in the region of about 25 to 28K to be able to comfortably afford that vehicle. It depends also on how the finance and insurance manager structures the deal. Is there extended term? Is there a step-up payment? Is there a residual value to help you handle the installments? 30% of your gross may go towards a car. How do you know if a vehicle is cloned? Private user. So it's a very good question. Um, but this is something that I've had to pay very, very hard school fees for 14 vehicles that I've purchased that were cloned. And 5 years ago, we created a system, and that system has served me so well. We've bought thousands of cars each year, have not bought a single clone car. But that question will take me minimum 120 minutes, 2 hours to answer, so that I can run you through a sequence. It is very, very difficult to pick it up until you have the sequence. So if we had 2 hours, I'll gladly, but I think we have like 15 minutes left, else. Yeah. So, but man, it's sad. It's very sad because it happens daily. I just want to learn from Akubi, even if it's Saturday marketing student from UJ. So appreciate you, man. That's a nice compliment. Unfortunately, the way that our employment equity acts work today and the amount of bullshit red tape cuck that I have to deal with, I literally can't. I'd love to. But if you come and work part time on a floor and you're not properly registered with all the authorities on all the websites, you fall down, you break your hand, you're not properly covered by insurance, there's no IOD. It's a bunch of cuck. And I wish we could change, sorry for the bad word, and I wish we could change the regulatory systems around how that works. But there is a good side to it because, if people have a bad intention, they'll just use and abuse you as a laborer instead of teaching you. But yeah, we're going to do lots of these pieces of content. So hopefully I over deliver on value. And each time you watch one of these, I leave you better than I found you. But appreciate the compliment, means a lot. And yeah, marketing, if you can market today and you can build relationships and foster relationships and grow them, no AI, no app, no Elon Musk chip will be able to take your job away from you, and you'll always be a six-figure earner plus if you focus and you do it really, really well, the simple stuff. So I'm excited for your life, man. Good luck. All the best. What do you look at a salesman when What do you look for in a salesman when interviewing? This is a good question. I did have this question last week. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I'll answer it. I'll answer it again. Hopefully, it gives you value. It depends. Is that salesperson experienced or inexperienced? I'll try and do it in under a minute. Um, okay. Yeah, people want to buy tickets for the. I'm getting so many WhatsApps. The link is in my bio. It's in my bio. Anyway, if you're an experienced salesperson and you come for an interview with me, and the first thing that I ask you is how big is your Rolodex? How big is your database? And you don't know what I mean. Like, you can literally slap me the moment you sit down next to me, and it would not put me off as much as when you say, huh, or sister, or Rolodex, or database. When you do that, I literally, like, I switch off, and I've done it. Our HR says, you know, Bob's, that was rude. Like, what do you mean? Did you expect anything else from me? I had a girl that we interviewed, 20 years sales experience. She's got a CV this long, worked at every major dealership, wants to work with me. So, okay, how big is your database? You know, I saved some of my customers' numbers on my phone. And then I said, no problem, ma'am. Where did you drive from? She drove from Krugersdorp. I appreciate you driving here. I've got work to do. I literally don't have time for you. Goodbye. And I just stood up and walked away. She looks at me with big eyes. It's the most off-putting when it comes to interviewing a experienced salesperson. So are you neat and organized? Are you the type of person that can tell me, Bobs, I have sold 2,114 vehicles. From those, I generate each and every month 75 leads, from which I close 10 a month. So when you employ me, you are literally, the moment I sign this contract, 10 deals a month from me. Okay, that's an experienced salesperson. An inexperienced salesperson or a cadet, I can't teach you enthusiasm. So I can't teach you that. Impossible. I can't teach you manners. That's your parents. Either they did a good job or they screwed it up. That's life. I can't teach you those two things. Okay? What I can teach you is processes, procedures, negotiation skills, listening skills, systems, technology, posts, story, call to action, how to ask for a referral, how to communicate with each department, because the love language is different. I can't teach you enthusiasm and manners. Can't. One of the brightest stars in our company, we interviewed him, he became a cadet. For the first 3.5 weeks that he was here first and he left last. And I didn't know this. He walked from Soshanguve, which is Kakfar, every morning to work, to be here before me, and I come here at 6:45. He left every night after I left and walked to Soshanguve every night. So he was here before me and he left after me for 3.5 weeks while he was still being selected to be a cadet. Okay, how I found this out is someone else also lives there. So one morning they saw him walking. If you've ever gone to Soshanguve and you walk to Pretoria, it's a freaking, it's a journey. They saw him walking down the road, so they pulled over and said, "Bro, what's up?" He's like, "No, I'm going to work this time of the morning." "Yes, I'm walking." So they gave him a lift. They said that to me and said, "Bobs, I haven't earned a salary yet. It's my first month. And at the end of the month, when I get paid, I'll have money for public transport." I cannot teach you that. I, I can't teach you that. He comes in, he greets everybody, looks at you in your eyes, shakes your hand, he's got a firm handshake, and he's ready to serve. That's on his parents. I can't teach you that. They did a fantastic job. Was he born in the best environment? No. Is he going to absolutely destroy everybody in Silver Lakes that was born there? They have zero chance against Peter. Okay? But I can't teach him that. That is internal, and the manners part on his parents. Hats off. So those are the two things that I look at. Experience. Do you have a Rolodex? Do you have a system? Do you have a way that you communicate with all your customers? And inexperienced manners on your parents. It is what it is. And enthusiasm. If you have those two, we can take over the world together. Let's freaking go. Great question, man. Uncle Bobby, what if my leads at the dealership suck? How can I attract high quality leads? If you are smaller than me, I would actually tackle you. If you are bigger than me, I'll talk to you nice. So let's pretend you're bigger than me. Okay? A little bit entitled that the leads suck. I don't want to hear that. If the leads suck at the dealership, go to your DP and tell him the leads suck. I'll give you a good story here. It happened a couple of months ago. I had a salesperson with your attitude, says to the call center, the last few leads that you sent me suck. So my best home is at the call center. So I get a sniff of this. I'm like, amazing. No problem. Next morning's training, there's about 28 salespeople in the training center. So I call him out, said, whatever his name is, you said yesterday to the call center that the leads that they sent you yesterday suck. Yeah, but the one guy didn't even answer his phone. Said, I'm not fighting you. I'm not pulling you out. I'm just going to give you a solution to your problem. I do apologize that our call center did not manage to execute on your expectation, the quality of lead that you were expecting. I'm so sorry. Going forward, we will not fail you in that way. So it's under my instruction, me, because I pay for those leads, that you don't receive leads of that quality anymore. In fact, you don't receive any leads from us anymore because they suck and they don't meet your standard. So from today on, generate your own leads. And that's how the cookie crumbles. I hope I humbled you a little bit there, and I hope you have a look at your leads a different way. And how do I generate high quality leads? The fact that you asked me that, you needed that humble pie. And Uncle Bobby is going to teach you something else today, whoever's watching. Humble pie is fat free. You can never have enough. Okay. Any tips on B2B marketing? Man, B2B is a lot easier than B2C. You just need to reverse engineer your end user and then answer the questions that they have before they are even asked, either in your piece of content that you do or in the delivery of your pitch, so that once me and you have a 90-second conversation, then you just say yes. So currently, I'm receiving 2,800 to 3,000 WhatsApps a day. If someone comes to me that says, Uncle B, you are manually shortcut /13 is this link, /3 is this script, you screenshot. If you buy my product at your volumes, here's how I'm going to make your life easier. And it will take you from 8 hours of WhatsApps per day to 30 minutes, and it will cost you 100,000 Rand a month subscription. And this is how it works. And I can start deploying it immediately. I'm going to ask you for your banking details and a piece of paper to sign right now, because that's the problem I currently have. So B2B is exactly that. If I'm in the shoes of Uncle B, 3,000 WhatsApps a day, all manual labor. I don't want a bot. I don't want a stupid bot that says, press 2 if you are retarded. Press 3 if you are awake. I don't want that shit. So if you can help me streamline my work without an idiot bot, I'm paying you 100 grand a month. So if you're a developer, you just got a contract. But B2B, reverse engineer the pain, answer all the questions in your pitch very early. Don't give me this bullshit NDA. A friend of mine this morning, I freaking grew up with this dude. He says to me, I've got this fantastic multi-million rand idea. Should I send you an NDA? I said to him, brother, should I hang up now or now? When should I hang up? He says, B, I'm so sorry, man. Here's what I'm thinking of. And you know what I did? I said, listen, I know the right guy. He was actually on his way to me. We had lunch today. He was supposed to be there at 1 and he pitched up at 12 o'clock. So as soon as he stopped there, I said, this guy can do this for you. He says, no way. I said, yes, right now. He says, give me his number. And because he's a G, I sent him the number and he phoned him. He said, listen, spoke to Bob's. This is the story. Took the phone, said, brother, The way you speak to me and you trust me, I'm giving you my other brother from another mother. You guys go and kill it and make millions. Buy me a nice cigar when you guys are rich, both of you from this venture. But I solved this problem, and it's a B2B problem. Before he even started asking me, I know he's got the solution. Just connected them. So sometimes your first sale leads to the second sale that leads to 100 sales. That's my answer to you. This is like the worst screenshot ever. I can't see the question.
daai persoon wil vroegtans boek met 'n
Okay, cool. Okay, wants to book a 90-minute session. Miguel, is it smart to put a high down payment on a car? Miguel. So very smart because you'll save on the interest. However, I want you to finance the car without the deposit first to get the benefit of the best interest rate from the bank. And then as soon as your debit order goes off or the contract number is given to you, the account number, put in the money and do a capital reduction because the bank can't go and change the interest rate after you put a hefty sum in the account. You're just going to save on the interest. But if you give that deposit up front, the chances are very big that the bank will actually charge you a higher interest rate because you are borrowing less money from them than if you're borrowing the full amount and pay the deposit in. And if anybody from all the banks is watching, they're throwing shit at me now, but luckily I'm far away from it. Okay, is it worth it to sell a new car after a couple of months? I don't know what car it is. I don't know your situation. You're going to take a crack anyway. So, yeah, viewers. Okay, do you offer the master classes or only the personal mentor ATM? So, I don't want to do the master classes. The team and I've spoken, I don't want to do the master classes. And the reason for that is, yes, it's a very lucrative event for us. The last events that we hosted, we had 22 dealerships at each event. They paid me 50,000 Rand for the day to spend the day with me, which equates to 1.1 million Rand for the day. We've got lots of expenses, the venue, the catering, we over delivered. It's like a 7-star experience. Challenge is it takes me as Bobby to get into that headspace so that I over deliver on value from 8 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night. It's 12 hours of me speaking, standing in front of the guys and engaging them so that they don't doze off and they get all the value. Now, having said that, for me to prepare for that day, it takes me a week. I book off for 4 days to be able to be in that mental space so that when I come on that stage, any of you watching me that have been to the masterclass, I took dealerships that 2 years ago were losing money. I've got 3 dealerships that were top three in the country in certain categories at the Auto Trader event where one of the dealers two of the dealers directly competed against me for the 2 awards that we won. And both of them said, Uncle B, the reason why we're here is because you gave us the playbook. And I'm not scared to give you the playbook. I'm just scared to take a week off work because what's the missed opportunity of me not being at work running the 5 dealerships? So I prefer the 90 minutes and then after hours. So we start, I think our next one is on, when is our next one? Thursday.
Yeah.
So we booked like almost a full month already for the days that we don't do this, the auction, and then I like doing customer training. But I prefer after hours because I can go extremely deep on one topic for 90 minutes. So posting times is a 90-minute conversation because if you understand the why, you will then do the how. If you don't understand the why, I can't teach you the how. But it takes me time to process with you so it clicks that this is why you post long form at this time with these tags and these hashtags. Once you understand the why, the how you create content, that I'll teach you in 10 minutes. But the 80 minutes is understanding psychology of the end user. And I'm not going to try and teach you something that I read in a fucking book. I teach you stuff that we actually do and we do every day at the highest level in the country. So masterclasses are great. Lots of connections that are made. Some of them we've done like hundreds of millions of rands of business, like millions of rands of business, where we trade cars amongst each other, beautiful relationships. But I can't afford to take a week off work to present that event to 22 people. And I'll never not over deliver and under prepare on that event. I'll rather not do it. I hope that answers your question. 30% goes there, and then the bank statement, see affordability and cash flow sense. Okay, so Zander, 30% of gross, or do they analyze bank statements to see affordability to the cash flow sense? Absolutely. Valid point. So yes, your question is valid. 30% of gross, but if your exposure to credit doesn't allow you to pay for that car, it will be declined. So if 30% of gross is 6,000 Rand, but your exposure is that you only have 1,800 Rand left in your account after you pay your other debt, it's a decline. So great question. Hope that answers it. Uncle Bob, how many TikTok accounts do you have? The insecure me just kicked in. The insecure me just kicked in. I've got one TikTok account. So I don't want many accounts. We've learned a couple of valuable lessons over the past few months. The one night we took a F-Type R supercharged V8, joy riding up and down the streets here, go and show the depot, and I'm moving this thing up and down the road, and then we got suspended. We had to be offline for a couple of hours. The other time we had a Skyline, the orange Skyline, and we were doing a live, and I was doing Q&As in the car, and someone said, no, floor it. I'm like, okay. And then I floored the car, boom, we were disconnected. So one account, but I try and behave as much as possible on that account. Uncle B, given how social media influences buying behavior, what's your strategy for turning online engagement into physical showroom traffic and actual signed deals? That's probably the highest quality question that I've received tonight. Thank you for asking it. I've got 6 minutes left, so I'm going to. Is there another kick-ass one, or should we end it with this one? End it with this one. So, great question. Tribal. So, yeah. Okay. So, social media marketing and posting is as much an emotional activity as it is a calculated activity mathematically. So, you have 3 tiers: brand, you've got marketing, and then you've got advertising. And it's a funnel, it's an upside down pyramid. Your intent with brand to get eyeballs is not to sell cars. Okay. So my most viewed video has got over 100 million views. I haven't sold a single card of that video. And I hope I never sell a card of that video. 100 million people saw it. So South Africa saw it twice. I don't know how big is South Africa. I think we're 46, more than twice. Okay, so South Africa and most of the neighboring countries have all seen that one video. I did not sell one card of that video, and my intent was never to sell a card of that video. So when I do a branding video, my intent is not to sell a car. Most dealerships, when they put out a piece of content, the intent is to sell a car. They don't sell a car, they get very disappointed, discouraged, and then they don't post again because the algorithm sucks. When in reality you suck. Okay, the algorithm doesn't suck. Facebook doesn't suck. You suck. So managing expectations when it comes to content is key. Is this a branding piece of content? And if it is, I want maximum reach, zero car sales. I want people to know who Uncle Bobby is. I want people to recognize me in traffic. I want them to recognize me in every single shop that I go to. I want people that are with me to feel uncomfortable. We were at an Indian restaurant in Fourways. Fourways, I think it was. I was having supper with my wife, and eventually there was a line. This is like a couple of months ago, of like 8 to 10 people lining up to take a photo of me. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just reverse engineering. Branding work. I'm recognized. I don't want to sell cars to these people. I'm recognized. So that's a branding green tick. Okay. Now you move closer to the funnel. Then you've got an advertising piece of content. marketing, sorry, advertising right at the bottom. So when it comes to marketing, this is when you start using a call to action. So this is when you're driving traffic to the website or driving traffic to a WhatsApp or drive, whatever the call to action is. This is where you engage customers on actual conversations and you're answering questions, not selling calls. You are providing value. And then you've got the bottom of the funnel, which is advertising. And that's when I don't want 800,000 views. I want 1,200 views, but that will convert into a sale. So going back to our masterclass event, when we marketed our masterclass event, I said to the team, this is a niche market. It is 100% bottom of the funnel. It's a B2B. This content should get between 12 to 1,500 views, and we should fill up the room with that one piece of content. Put it out there. There was a conversation. The conversation was, tell me more. What are the areas? Don't worry about it. My computer died. Don't worry about it. What are the areas that you're going to be unpacking? I've got a few more questions. So how did we go to 22 people? We had a funnel. So I produced a piece of content, 1,500 views, lots of inquiries, 80 people in the funnel, all the way down to, I think, 25, and then we took 22. We actually said no to people on the first one and no to people on the second one. But the intent on that one was not views, was conversion. So the messaging was different. So brand, lots of views, marketing, engagement. I don't expect to sell cars, but I expect engagement. I want comments, I want questions, I want haters, I want people that say where, and then right at the bottom, which is advertising. That's where the call to action is strong. Here's my product, buy my product. Okay, and the TV also died. And we've got 2 minutes to spare. I think that's it. I don't think we have time for another question. If there's anything that you want to ask me or you want to unpack this at a deeper level, you want to spend the 90 minutes with me, it's a paid event. I charge 25K for 90 minutes. And on that topic, if you ask me 6 questions that I need to process in the 90 minutes, I can go maybe 2 layers deep on each question and it will add value. But if you ask me 2 very high quality questions, I can go all the way down 8, 9, 10 layers so you understand the why. And I'll show you the how at the end. It's a recorded event. If you're not from Gauteng, if you're not from the area and you can't come sit with us in the studio, it's okay. We do it on Zoom. I promise my laptop will be plugged in. And it's recorded, well lit, very good, high quality sound. After we finish the event, the one-on-one, Elsie will package it nicely for you, send it to you, and you can download it, retrain yourself. Sometimes you miss something, you go and rewatch it a couple of times, and the intent is to train the trainer. So I train you how to run a proper sales meeting, how to drive sales teams.
We need to end now. We have a violation.
Okay, violation, keep it